Hey everyone, I'm going to propose 6 different campaigns that we run for our next campaign, our next adventure. I've recorded this 4 times already because I'm partially an idiot and I mess up my audio all the time and my gain is too high, or I don't turn it on, or I record it stupidly. I hope I get through this all fine. Six different adventurers, six different campaigns, 6 different adventures, 6 different adventures. Yes, we're going to play one of them. Let's decide which one. Why I want to play the Rod of 7 Parts. In the cosmic battle between law and chaos, our super team of high-level adventurers take up a quest that will send them tumbling through the planes of the multiverse to collect the 7 parts of a legendary artifact. I'll be basing our adventure on this book that was published in 1996 for the 2nd edition D&D rule set. I'll update this to the 5th edition rules. I think that there's a lot in this book that can benefit from being made better with some contemporary adjustments, and I would love to do that. I think it'd be fun to put this on a multiplanar adventure that we jump through different places to explore the dungeons as described in this adventure. It'll start up probably a few weeks after our descent into Avernus campaign. It'll give us a chance to introduce new characters, catch up on what our old characters are doing, retire characters from adventuring if so needed. This dungeon hopping adventure has a worlds-altering storyline, has a deep roster of classic and unique monsters, and some fantastic set pieces that I'd love to build if we met in person, or putting them in VTT is fine. I could do that, no problem. The pacing itself has natural breaks between the different dungeons locations. We could use those again to accommodate more downtime activities, focus on some character moments, or swap out party members. The Rod of 7 Parts, as an artifact, has an honored place in D&D lore. I think this old adventure would be a fun way to cap off our high-level parties' shenanigans through the multiverse. We'll keep the milestone leveling, and this will take our characters at least to level 18. We could go all the way to 20 if we so desire. I think we should play the Rod of 7 Parts. And for our next adventure, I would like to propose Odyssey of the Dragonlords. Odyssey of the Dragonlords is an adventure campaign that was heavily inspired by ancient Greek myths. It was written by former BioWare designers and publishers, published through a Kickstarter, I think, in 2019. The setting itself is not Greece. It has its own history, its own world map and pantheon. It's designed to work with the 5th edition D&D character options and the magic system and the abilities. You'll play the heroes, fated to save this land from the wrath of Titans after a 500-year era of peace comes to an end. There is a setting book this is the setting book. It has player options. Let's go back up to the as playable races and class archetypes here. These are new ones for each of the different classes, except for Artificer, but that's okay. You want to play Artificer, we can do some Clash of the Titans type stuff in here. Good stuff. Where was it? Oh yeah, you can play as Medusa, nymphs, subclasses, all types of stuff. There's also some other sources if you want to customize your characters a little bit more. There's a one called Arcadia, I think. Arcadia, that has some Greek stuff that we could use. There's also Mythic Odysseys of Theros, which would be in D&D Beyond and could incorporate plays minotaurs or run around as satyrs and play jokes on people. The art in this book is just fantastic. It's fun to play. It's just great to look at. It's just so inspiring. Just look at these centaurs. It's so awesome. It's great. It's wonderful. There's so many monsters in D&D that are inspired by Greek myths, and I've long wanted to play in or run a campaign that focuses only on those creatures. I think it'd be fun, and I ran across this adventure. I think it's great. I think we should totally play it. Let's play Odyssey of the Dragonlords. The next campaign that I would like to propose is a Spelljammer campaign set in the Astromundi cluster. You are Spelljammers trapped in the Astromundi cluster, a planetary system that's lit by 7 different colored suns and diversely populated by humanoids, monsters, and other greater beings. I'll design the adventure based on this setting that was published in 1993 for the 2nd edition AD&D. As well as a lot of other material for Spelljammer that came out at the time. There's also some current 5e stuff from like Saltmarsh about running a crew on a ship that flows through arcane space and has some fun encounters along the way. I have a lot of nostalgia for the setting because it's the first D&D game that I played in that lasted more than a couple of sessions. I also love it because it's high fantasy, big concept, and really shows off how wild you can get with the D&D. Anything kind of goes in Spelljammer. We have gunpowder, we have psionics, we have eldritch star entities. You have, blunderbuss wielding hippo officers as well as all the normal D&D stuff. And I mean, look at this picture. Look at this ship. This big insect ship and being attacked by this vine thing in space. It's so good. Choose this adventure if you want to negotiate with a cabal of beholders, explore a living planet, hire a crew of space pirate Vikings, or share a meal with sun-worshipping lich dictators. Also, this would be a great adventure if you want to have people pop in and out of characters, or you want to cycle through and there's a bunch of different characters you could play. You could just take one character, throw them back into the crew of a ship, pull out another character, play that around. We visit lots of different locations, so there's a lot of different kind of chapters and different things that we can encounter along the way. I think it's great. I think Spelljammer is great. We should totally play Spelljammer in the Astromundi cluster. The next item I would like to propose is the Forgotten Temple of Tharizdun. This is an old adventure written by Gary Gygax in 1982. I'd love to redesign it and run it and customize it in some key ways. There's some stuff published in this adventure that's unfortunate, good, not good. It says not good. Some stuff that definitely needs to get. We don't need to even see the art. It's kind of bad stuff. I think Tharizdun is one of the most intriguing deities in the D&D lore. He's a being so horrible that the gods of all the alignments work together to lock him away. He's rumored to be the entity that created the abyss. He's evil. He's bad. But he's distant. He's not active in existence or running around. He is mentioned in the player's handbook as one of the potential sources of, I think, the Great Old One's power for Warlock packs. He's great. I think he's cool. He's kind of Cthulhu-like, but definitely in a D&D setting. The campaign that I would run would focus on this alpine forest setting. There's no human settlements or travelers here. And I propose that we use the humanoid character creation options from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything to make a customized party of either all orcs or all gnomes. And the adventure would start in one of these 2 clans, whichever one we choose, as we explore the wilderness, navigate through clan politics, and contend with the influences of a cold evil rising from an unknown temple. Choose this adventure if you want to have some old school D&D encounters pinned by Gary Gygax himself, explore the wilderness in this hex crawl, plunder old dungeons, and save your clan from evil. Next. Castle Amber. Castle Amber is another old adventure. This one's published in 1981. It's often cited as one of the best adventures written for the period that it was, or the rule set it was designed in. You will wake up in the foyer of an opulent, extra-dimensional castle after a night, a day, a week of revelry, and you must find your way out as you explore the rooms and encounter the former inhabitants that still haunt this manor. This is a room-by-room adventure that has some fun encounters and old-school D&D flourish. It's a dungeon crawl that doesn't feel like a dungeon. The eccentric and mad characters you meet along the way have made this adventure memorable for so many who have played it before. The adventure, we can accommodate any kind of character we want to make in this, but I'd propose 2 options to think about. One would be the adventure references the Kingdom of Ghouls, which is taking over the Underdark, and you could have fled from the armies of ghouls that are taking over parts of the Underdark, and you came to the surface, ended up in this castle, got whisked away into its extra-dimensional place, and are seeking to get back home and help out your old settlement. The other option is, you could have ended up in this castle after falling through an interdimensional portal from medieval France. Start at 3rd level. We'll go as long as we want. It'll be fun. Let's play Castle Amber. And last but not least on the list is the Barrowmaze. Now, this is a mega dungeon, which means it has many rooms filled with undead and different factions. Our players would be tomb robbers, but it's okay. They're just undead and bad people. And you're running through all the undead in this dungeon. There's some town encounters with other adventurers, and there's some breaks kind of built in. We don't have to spend the entire time in the dungeon. You can kind of go back to the town and swap out characters and do other things, do some downtime activities if you so wish. I think this would be super fun. Kicking down doors and just killing undead. I don't want it to... I feel like it'd be easy. It's easy for me to undersell this adventure by just saying, oh, it's just a bunch of combat stuff. But when I look back on D&D stuff, like so many of my memorable moments happened just in combat, and just the weird things that happen and the way we play off each other for the things that are happening during combat. I think this adventure provides such a simple stage for us to have a lot of fun. I mean, it's just, you just get to go through and just bash the skull in on a bunch of skeletons and undead stuff. I think it'd be super fun. I think we could make it through a lot of it. I think it's great. Let's play the Barrowmaze. The one thing I would say about this is that we'd start at 1st level, go through, and we would do advancement based on XP instead of milestones, because it's not really, I mean, there's factions, there's story, there's like secrets and something to figure out in the dungeon, which is cool in itself. It's a modern design. It's not just combat all the time to like prove a point or something like that. I think it'd be fun. I think we should totally play it. Let's play Barrowmaze. So those are all the proposals. I checked the audio. I think I did everything okay. I didn't mess this recording up like I messed up all the other ones. So these are the 6 games that I want to play. I want to play all of them. I think each one of them would be fun. I think we would have a ball in every single one of these things. There's a lot of chances for creative character design, for interesting encounters we could have with NPCs. There's fun monster set pieces. There's D&D lore and secrets and stuff that we could all kind of explore and discover. There's some cool magic items and wild stuff around here. I think each of these would be a lot of fun. Let's play some D&D. Let's get together. Let's turn our audio on correctly and not turn our gain up too high. Let's pick one of these campaigns. Let's just roll some dice, man. Let's just roll some dice.